I have a belief that if I try my best, and I do the right thing, then I will have success. The great gift of human beings is that we have the power of empathy. You can't suppress the things that make us human. It's not healthy, and it's not honest. The formula of happiness and success is just being actually yourself, in the most vivid possible way you can. I think the most liberating thing I did early on was to free myself from any concern of what people thought of me. I no longer have the patience for certain things, not because I've become arrogant, but simply because I reached a point in my life where I do not want to waste more time. True freedom is understanding that we have a choice in who and what we allow to have power over us. What makes you different or weird, that's your strength. I have a very strong opinion about what is right and wrong, and I really resent when people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be political." This is not politics, it's ethics. You don't have to be famous. You just have to make your mother and father proud of you, and you already have something beautiful going. Acting is not about being someone different. It's finding the similarity in what is apparently different, then finding myself in there. The minute you start caring about what other people think, is the minute you stop being yourself. You can't get spoiled if you do your own ironing. I try to lead as normal a life as possible. I don't need extra attention. My job is usually to express emotion as freely as possible. You just have to keep on doing what you do. Keep going. Start by starting. The work is the reward. The work is the life. The life is the work. It's the same. It's amazing what you can get if you quietly, clearly, and authoritatively demand it. I think yourself comes out in the work. Everything we say signifies, everything counts, that we put out into the world. It impacts someone. I have been offered the lead in lots of pictures that are more typical, but I want something different. I think the difference between being a mother and having a career is realizing you're never going to be perfect in both. Being a mother has helped me understand the depth of what it is to be a woman. Put blinders on to those things that conspire to hold you back, especially the ones in your own head. Power is intimidating only if you allow it to be. I think that there are people that you keep in your life, whether they're dead or alive. Having respect for your own work and the way you do it is very important. I'm really interested in stories about real people. The best thing about acting is that I get to lose myself in another person's world. I like who I am now. Other people may not. I'm comfortable. I feel freer now. I don't want to grow old gracefully. I want to fight it. I don't like to be out of my comfort zone, which is about a half an inch wide. I think the best role models for women are people who are fruitfully and confidently themselves, who bring light into the world. I think the truth is the most important thing. You can't be overwhelmed by emotion, but you have to be moved. You can't get spoiled if you're grounded in reality. I've always been in awe of people who have complete self-possession. I think I learned how to be a woman by being a mother. Acting is like therapy for me. I don't want life to imitate art. I want life to be art. The great thing about human beings is we can reinvent ourselves. There is no roadmap. There's no rule book. I've gotten better at saying what I mean, and meaning what I say. My job as an actor is to interpret material. Somehow, in acting, you learn to live with rejection and how to hold your own. Every experience feeds into the next one. Be brave enough to be bad at something new. When you feel you don't belong, that's the time to stand taller. You don't learn from success. You learn from failure. Your life is your story. Write well. Edit often. Sometimes you have to go through the worst to get the best. Don't be afraid of your voice, even when it shakes. Great characters are simply reflections of the human soul. I never give up on people, and I expect people never to give up on me. Embrace your flaws. They're what make you powerful. Don't live your life to impress others. Live it to impress yourself. I don't need anyone's permission to be who I am. Success is meaningless without integrity. There is dignity in every kind of work. I believe in kindness as a superpower. Being vulnerable is not a weakness. It's your strength. Grace under pressure defines true elegance. Every woman has a fire inside her. Let it burn. The world doesn't need perfect women. It needs real ones. I've learned the power of silence. What's important is not what you have, but who you become. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is simply keep going. Let go of who you think you should be. Embrace who you are. Love yourself enough to walk away from what dims your light. Creativity is intelligence having fun. Aging is not a curse. It's a privilege. Learn to value solitude. It teaches you who you are. I trust the timing of my life. Be a voice, not an echo. Own your narrative. Don't let anyone else write it for you. When you don't know what to do the next right thing. You are the masterpiece of your own life. Stop chasing approval. Start chasing purpose. I am not here to be liked. I'm here to be real. Joy is an act of resistance. You are not born to be quiet. Find peace in your own presence. Elegance is when the inside is as beautiful as the outside. When in doubt, choose authenticity. I shine because I refuse to dim for anyone. Pain makes you stronger. Tears make you braver. Every woman should know her worth isn't defined by others. Be bold enough to live differently. Not all storms come to disrupt. Some come to clear your path. You don't have to carry what was never yours to hold. Speak up even if your voice shakes. Being different isn't a curse, it's your power. There's no shame in starting over. Healing is not linear. Take your time. Confidence is quiet. Insecurities are loud. Don't just survive, thrive. Acting is not about being someone else. It's about finding the truth within yourself. The older you get, the more you realize it's okay to live a life others don't understand. People will say, "You're not being realistic," but realism is not my strong suit. I'm a dreamer. Real beauty comes from inside. It's your energy, your kindness, your strength. The most powerful tool any woman can have is confidence. I've always felt that I have to prove myself over and over again. My job is to feel what other people feel, to help them see it more clearly. The reward for conformity is that everyone likes you but yourself. You don't need a crown to be a queen. You just need to know who you are. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself again. Silence is sometimes the loudest voice. No role ever made me who I am. My choices did. My favorite performances were never on camera, they were in private resilience. You can walk through fire and still carry water for others. You don't need to be understood to be impactful. Sometimes I act just to feel again. You are allowed to evolve beyond their memory of you. Not everyone is meant to come with you. That's not cruelty, it's clarity. Let them say you've changed. Change is sacred. Don't let applause distract you from alignment. You are not hard to love. You are hard to manipulate. I've learned to stop shrinking my silence to comfort others. Let the curtain fall on everything that made you feel small. Your scars are not shame, they're survival art. You do not need to earn stillness. You deserve it by existing. Even in my most broken moments, I was building something holy. Acting gave me freedom, but knowing myself gave me peace. I no longer apologize for how deeply I feel. If you must burn, let it be for your own light. The world rewards masks. I prefer mirrors. Don't chase closure. Choose continuation. My power doesn't come from roles. It comes from refusal. Let your absence teach them what your presence always gave. I've played tragic women, but never let tragedy define me. The applause fades, but the impact echoes. You are not replaceable. You are a rare event. Let solitude be your sanctuary, not your sentence. Sometimes, presence is protest. I don't fear irrelevance, I fear inauthenticity. Let your life be louder than your resume. The stage taught me timing. Life taught me surrender. You do not need to audition for your own existence. Let grace be the script, and truth the scene. Even when I was silent, my art spoke. You don't have to explain why you chose peace. Let yourself be rewritten by healing. The best performance is the one where you finally take off the mask. Your existence is already enough. I think yourself emerges more clearly over time. You can't get spoiled if you do your own ironing. I don't want to be a celebrity, I want to be an actor. Being a mother has helped me love more deeply than I ever thought possible. What makes you different or weird? That's your strength. You can't suppress the things that make you unique. You just have to keep on doing what you do. It's the lesson I get from my husband. He just says, keep going. Start by starting. How you live your life, the choices you make, the things you're passionate about, that's what defines you. Don't waste so much time thinking about how things could have been. My job is usually to express emotion as freely as possible. True freedom is understanding that we have a choice in who and what we allow to have power over us. Every single decision you make as a woman has ramifications, good or bad. When you embrace your age, your imperfections, your stories, you become unstoppable. Some people are intimidated by me because I'm honest and direct. But I'm not rude, I'm real. Real beauty is not about perfection. It's about honesty, resilience, and kindness. Put blinders on to those things that conspire to hold you back, especially the ones in your own head. I have a belief that life is basically a process of growth, that we go through many lives, choosing those situations and people that will help us most to learn. Everything we say signifies, everything counts, that we put out into the world. It impacts someone. It's amazing what you can get if you quietly, clearly, and authoritatively demand it. You don't have to be famous. You just have to make your mother and father proud of you. My attitude to power is that I don't have it, I never wanted it, and I don't want to waste my time with it. The minute you start caring about what other people think, is the minute you stop being yourself. The gift of human beings is that we have the power of empathy. You get better as an actor as you get older because life is more layered. If you have a brain and a heart, you can act. Acting is not about being someone different. It's finding the similarity in what is apparently different, then finding myself in there. I think that the most liberating thing I did early on was to free myself from any concern with my looks, as they pertain to my work. I think that sometimes people are afraid to say what they want. That's why they don't get what they want. Some people are drenched in grace. Some people are just natural performers. The formula of happiness and success is just being actually yourself, in the most vivid possible way you can. Disrespect invites disrespect. Violence incites violence. When the powerful use their position to bully others, we all lose. You have to embrace getting older. Life is precious. And when you've lost a lot of people, you realize each day is a gift. The work is the reward, and that's the truth for me. I try to lead as normal a life as I can. You can't get spoiled if you do your own ironing. I don't like to be over-directed, but I do like to have a strong idea of what's going on. The interesting thing about being a mother is that everyone wants pets, but no one but me cleans the kitty litter. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to be honest. I want to feel my life while I'm in it. You don't have to be loud to be strong. Quiet strength is often the most powerful. The real gift of acting is that it forces you to live in someone else's shoes. You make your choices, and then your choices make you. I no longer have patience for certain things, not because I've become arrogant, but simply because I reached a point in my life where I do not want to waste more time. I have never lived my life for other people's approval. I've lived it on my own terms. There is no roadmap for how to raise a child. It's instinct, trial and error, and love. There's no way to prepare for every role in life. You grow into it by doing it. You don't have to be aggressive to be powerful. Grace has its own kind of strength. Acting is not about being someone different. It's finding the similarity in what is apparently different, then finding myself in there. The great gift of human beings is that we have the power of empathy. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. I have a lot of chameleon qualities. I get very absorbed in my surroundings. The formula of happiness and success is just being actually yourself, in the most vivid possible way you can. I never give up. I never let go. I stay in the fight until the very end. Women are not obligated to smile for the world. The minute you start caring about what other people think, is the minute you stop being yourself. I choose projects where the human experience is explored in all its messiness. Kindness is one of the most underrated human strengths. Every woman deserves to be seen, heard, and respected, not just admired. What I've learned is, life goes on. It always does. So keep walking, even if it's slow. My voice may tremble, but it will never be silenced. I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. Art is not a product. It's a reflection of the soul. They told me I was too much. I made it my strength. Not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes peace is the victory. You can choose both softness and strength. I always do. My voice may tremble, but I'll still speak. I didn't come this far to remain silent. Your glow is not up for debate. In every character I played, I found a part of myself. Don't wait for the world to validate your worth. You are allowed to rise without asking for permission. Let them underestimate you. It makes your rise more poetic. Empathy is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. I stopped asking why me, and started saying watch me. I don't act to escape, I act to connect. You can fall and still be fierce. There's a quiet power in choosing grace. Wear your truth like armor. I don't chase spotlight, I carry light within me. Growth feels like losing yourself before finding yourself again. Let your evolution scare those who expected you to stay the same. Healing isn't a destination. It's a journey with no map. If I had waited for the world's approval, I would have missed my calling. My courage isn't loud, it's consistent. I don't fit the mold, I shape new ones. Be so grounded in who you are that nothing can shake you. Let them gossip, you're building. Every woman carries a storm and a sunrise within her. Your story is still being written. Don't rush the ending. They won't always clap, shine anyway. I act because words alone aren't enough. You are never too late to become who you were meant to be. Be the kind of woman your younger self would admire. Sometimes, silence is your highest boundary. Pain transformed me, it didn't destroy me. You are allowed to take up space and still be gentle. Let the doubters become the soundtrack to your success. I never auditioned for the role of likable. I create not for perfection, but for presence. When you stop proving and start being, life opens. You weren't born to tiptoe through life. Don't explain your fire to those afraid of light. I speak truth not to offend, but to free. Create like no one's judging. Live like no one's watching. The deeper your scars, the stronger your roots. Every tear I shed became a lesson I live by. I don't fear change. I fear staying the same. Let your setbacks become stepping stones. Strength isn't a look, it's a decision. You weren't made to be understood by everyone, only by yourself. You don't need noise to make impact. The most beautiful thing a woman can wear is confidence. It's okay to start over, this time with more wisdom. You don't need a spotlight to shine. Even your shadows have stories to tell. Sometimes presence is louder than performance. Being true is the only kind of success that matters. Let people talk. You're too busy living with purpose. Courage is speaking when your voice shakes. I carry every role I've played like a chapter, not a definition. The world doesn't need another version, it needs your original. Your quiet strength is louder than their noise. Speak your truth even if your hands shake. You were born for more than survival. Not everyone will applaud. Keep walking. Sometimes not reacting is your loudest response. You owe no one your silence. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it's depth. Don't measure your worth by how much they understand you. Growth feels like grief before it feels like grace. Your dreams are waiting on your belief, not their approval. I create from chaos, and that's my power. You don't have to explain the battles you've won in silence. Let the version of you they ignored become the version they can't ignore. You are not your past, you are your becoming. I've learned more from failure than I ever did from fame. Be so secure in yourself that praise and rejection sound the same. Acting isn't pretending, it's revealing. You don't need to scream to be heard. You can change your story anytime you choose. Not everything needs an answer. Some things just need release. Celebrate the version of you that kept going. Let your wounds teach, not define. Some of the most powerful roles I've played were the ones I lived in silence. When you stop shrinking, you finally fit. You are allowed to want more and still be grateful. I never became someone else when I acted. I just peeled back who I already was. The beauty of aging is learning to let go of applause. There's a quiet rebellion in choosing peace over proving yourself. You don't have to scream to change the world. You just have to speak your truth. The role of a lifetime is becoming who you really are. Sometimes, the strongest women are the ones who no longer explain. Art is where I go to tell the truth when words aren't enough. You're not lost. You're unfolding at your own divine pace. Let the pain sculpt you, not shatter you. The best part of getting older is caring less about things that don't matter. My worth isn't in the roles I play, but in the woman I've become off stage. The most powerful script I followed was the one I wrote in silence. They saw a woman aging. I saw a woman awakening. I've played queens and mothers, lovers and ghosts. None of them taught me more than my own silence. You can't be authentic if you're still auditioning for approval. I'm not fearless. I just know the cost of staying silent. Even after all the applause, I still find home in simplicity. Sometimes, your voice will break. Let it. That's where truth lives. The woman I am today was built in shadows, not spotlight. You're not required to be likable to be worthy. Let your wrinkles be the roadmaps of your becoming. It took me decades to realize that soft doesn't mean weak. Don't wait for someone to cast you, cast yourself. No amount of fame replaces the feeling of doing honest work. You can be wildly successful and still need solitude. Real beauty doesn't beg for validation. You're not falling apart, you're falling into place. The world will always try to name you. Resist with grace. My voice has trembled on screen and in life. Both were true. I've made peace with not being understood by everyone. The price of being real is not being loved by all, and that's okay. You don't have to survive your past in silence. Stop asking to be seen. Look in the mirror and see yourself. The stories that matter most are often the hardest to tell. You are the script, the scene, the spotlight, and the soul. You weren't meant to fade into the background. You are the stage. Let your gray hair be silver medals of survival. When the world demanded perfection, I gave them presents. Don't fear breaking. Glass shines brightest once shattered. Sometimes, the applause drowns out the art. Protect your silence. You don't need to inspire the world. Just be honest with yourself. There is elegance in exhaustion, when you keep going anyway. I have stopped trying to impress. Now I just express. The lines on my face are not flaws, they're poetry. Fame never taught me what failure did. Sometimes, bravery is continuing even when no one's watching. I didn't come this far to play small in my own story. Even my softest moments carry thunder. There's dignity in starting over, again and again. The best roles are the ones that resemble the rawest versions of us. Healing is an art, not a timeline. You deserve love that doesn't require a performance. Acting taught me empathy. Living taught me grace. Celebrate the things you once hid. You don't have to shrink for anyone's comfort. Some storms come to build you, not break you. You are not lost. You are unfolding. It's okay to change the ending of your story. Not everyone will understand your transformation. That's okay. Your light will irritate those still hiding in shadows. You are more than enough, even when you feel like too little. Be unshakable in your becoming. You deserve joy without guilt. There is bravery in being gentle. Let your soul guide what your mind can't explain. You owe no one your silence. The world shifts when women rise. Your comeback will be stronger than your silence. Make peace with who you are. The world will catch up. You don't have to carry the pain to remember the lesson. Be the woman who breaks the cycle. You are not defined by what broke you. The future is female and fierce. You are the answer you've been waiting for. Your truth is not too loud. It's necessary. Start again as many times as you need. Walk in your truth, even if you walk alone. Your softness is not your weakness, it's your revolution. Never underestimate the power of a woman who chooses herself. Let your legacy be truth, not approval. You don't have to settle just because they can't rise with you. Fall in love with the process of becoming. Wear your crown, even if they don't see it. Your dreams are valid, even if only you believe in them. You don't need to be liked to be powerful. Stop asking permission to exist. Sometimes silence is self-respect. Don't be afraid to outgrow people who don't grow. You are not broken. You are becoming. Let your story be one that inspires change. I don't need to raise my voice to prove my point. Truth speaks for itself. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. You are allowed to reinvent yourself at any stage of life. I'd rather be real and disliked than fake and adored. When you speak your truth, you set others free too. Art is not a mirror, it's a hammer to shape the world. You can outgrow the version of you they still expect. Sometimes, silence is a woman's loudest roar. I don't act to escape reality. I act to reveal it. Elegance is refusing to shrink in the presence of arrogance. When people tell me I've changed, I take it as a compliment. Let your life be your loudest performance. There's nothing stronger than a woman who's done being silent. What people think of me is none of my business. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's your greatest strength in disguise. I am not afraid of aging. I'm afraid of never having lived fully. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs more originals. You deserve peace without explanation. Your voice matters. Use it like a sword wrapped in velvet. I am not difficult. I'm just no longer willing to settle. Truth doesn't tremble. It stands tall, even when alone. The best stories are written in scars, not ink. I no longer chase. I attract by being. Let your presence speak volumes in rooms that try to silence you. You don't need to justify your glow. Some of the most beautiful blooms come from the darkest soil. You don't have to prove your worth. You just have to know it. You are a masterpiece painted in resilience. Life doesn't owe you easy, it offers growth. If they can't handle your intensity, they don't deserve your depth. Your dignity is non-negotiable. Success without peace is not success. Sometimes the bravest act is simply being soft in a hard world. My strength was built in silence, not applause. Create a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good outside. Being underestimated is your greatest disguise. You have the right to walk away from anything that disturbs your peace. Let your boundaries be loud. Don't apologize for being passionate. It's your fire. Acting taught me how to see people not as characters, but as worlds. Beauty fades, but character stays. Grace is when you rise without making noise about who pushed you. I stopped waiting to be chosen. I chose myself. Your authenticity is your superpower. Not everyone will like you, and that's a gift. Peace begins where the need to please ends. The best form of rebellion is to be unapologetically yourself. A woman who knows her worth is unstoppable. Stop watering dead plants. Go where you bloom. Be kind, but don't tolerate disrespect. Let your growth offend those who refuse to evolve. Your story is your strength, not your shame. You were not born to shrink. You were born to shine. Don't fear being alone. Fear being in company that kills your spirit. I create. That's what I do. That's who I am. The strongest person is the one who feels deeply and still chooses love. I'm not aging. I'm unfolding. You can choose peace and still protect your fire. There's no timeline for becoming. Wisdom whispers. Listen closely. Confidence is the quiet certainty that you're enough. Sometimes saying no is the most loving thing you can do for yourself. Let your boundaries teach others how to treat you. You are allowed to outgrow versions of yourself. There is no weakness in needing rest. Not all silence is surrender. Sometimes it's strategy. Let them doubt you. You'll do it anyway. Your empathy is not a flaw, it's your superpower. Sometimes the most creative thing you can do is heal. Your glow will irritate those who live in darkness. You don't need validation from the same people who doubted you. Your peace is priceless. Protect it at all costs. Strength is not how loud you speak, but how clearly you live. The world makes room for those who know where they're going. You are not just surviving, you are shaping storms into stories. Let them watch. You were born to be seen. I stopped explaining myself when I realized those who understand never ask. Growth is uncomfortable because you're letting go of comfort zones. You don't need fixing. You need freedom. If you're too much for them, they're too little for you. No one can steal what you truly claim as your own. Speak gently. Live boldly. Your dreams are not unreasonable. They're just waiting on your bravery. Let the past go. It's heavy and doesn't belong where you're going. Live with so much truth that lies fall away in your presence. Healing isn't linear, but every step counts. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is rest. You are the calm within the chaos. Let your grace rewrite the narrative. There's a kind of beauty that comes from surviving. You owe it to yourself to be wildly, deeply alive. I don't perform for applause. I perform for truth. Every time I doubted myself, I created something unforgettable. I am not your expectation. I am my own reality. The most rebellious thing a woman can do is love herself loudly. Acting has taught me that everyone is carrying something unseen. Don't be afraid to wear your passion proudly. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You just need to be real. I've played many roles in life, but the hardest was learning to be myself. Confidence doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply shows up and stays. A strong woman is one who builds with what was meant to break her. Success is not measured by trophies, but by truth. I try to lead by example, not explanation. The work will stand if you're true to yourself in the process. What makes you different or weird, that's your strength. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Every moment is a chance to reinvent yourself, quietly or loudly. I've always said good acting is about honesty, and honesty is always brave. I no longer have patience for certain things. Not because I've become arrogant, but simply because I've reached a point in my life where I do not want to waste time with anything that disrespects me. You find your balance by losing it a few times. I'm interested in a woman who speaks her mind, even if her voice shakes. When you embrace your imperfections, you discover your power. I've played so many women who've taught me who I am as a person. Beauty fades, but truth and character do not. Age isn't a curse, it's a victory. When they underestimate you, let your work over-deliver. Success is about staying kind in a world that tests your softness. Here are more Meryl Streep quotes filled with strength, wisdom, and emotional depth, perfect for voiceover content. I have a belief that life is not always fair, but it is always meaningful. You don't have to be loud to make a powerful impact. Real acting is about listening, not just performing. The older you get, the more you realize how precious your energy is. I've learned to say no without guilt and yes without fear. Time is the most generous teacher. It reveals who we are and who we're not. I've never seen a strong woman whose past wasn't complicated. The most beautiful thing you can be is unapologetically yourself. I don't need everyone to like me. I just need to like myself enough. I no longer chase things or people. What belongs to me will find me. Being underestimated is often the biggest gift in disguise. Don't wait for permission to shine. Every story matters, but the truth in it is what stays. I don't dress for others. I wear what makes me feel like me. Vulnerability doesn't mean weakness, it means you're real. I have a strong personality, and I'm not afraid to use it. Your silence will not protect you, but your truth will set you free. I am a woman with thoughts and questions and shit to say. I say if I'm beautiful. I say if I'm strong. You will not determine my story, I will. You can't be afraid of the voices inside you. That's where the art lives. There is no map for growing older gracefully. You draw it as you go. I don't trust people who don't laugh. Life is too important not to laugh. I'm interested in people who break rules, not just follow them. Every wrinkle tells a story. I carry mine with pride. Success doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you've always been. You don't have to be perfect to be valuable. I'd rather be known for what I stood for than for how I looked. Sometimes strength looks like walking away, not holding on. No role I've ever played was more important than being true to myself. There is no competition when you're walking in your purpose. I've spent too much of my life trying to please. Now I strive to live in peace. I think the most liberating thing I ever did was realize I didn't have to fit into someone else's idea of who I should be. Real beauty has everything to do with character. It's about who you are, not how you look. Being a woman is not a weakness. It's a superpower. You cannot please everyone, and that's the greatest relief you'll ever feel. Confidence doesn't come from praise. It comes from surviving the silence. I've played many roles, but none more important than being unapologetically myself. Sometimes you must let go of the version of you they expect, to become who you truly are. I don't worry about aging. I worry about not living fully. A strong woman stands up for herself. A stronger woman stands up for others too. I didn't come this far to blend in. I came to speak up. Every great performance is born from honesty. True elegance is being remembered for your integrity, not your clothes. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more real ones. Aging isn't about fading. It's about glowing differently. The most powerful voice is the one that tells the truth gently but firmly. I learned to stop apologizing for taking up space. Acting is not about being someone different. It's finding the similarity in what is apparently different, then finding myself in there. I no longer have patience for things that don't matter. You have to embrace getting older. Life is precious, and when you've lost a lot of people, you realize each day is a gift. Powerful women aren't born. They are forged through fire. I choose to listen to my instincts, not the noise of the world. You can't be afraid to speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. People will say what they want. Let them. You just keep shining. You have to be brave enough to be bad at something new. The most beautiful thing about a woman is the way she carries her story. Being underestimated is a gift. It gives you room to surprise. I became powerful the moment I stopped asking for permission. You are not required to shrink to make others feel comfortable. A real artist is never finished. She's always becoming. Your life is your message to the world. Make it intentional. The minute you start caring about what other people think, is the minute you stop being yourself. I'm curious about people. That's the essence of my acting. You can't get spoiled if you do your own ironing. I just want to be who I am, and that's enough. When you're acting, you are stealing a life that isn't yours, and you must honor it with truth. What makes you different or weird, that's your strength. Put blinders on those things that conspire to hold you back, especially the ones in your own head. I'm interested in people who push boundaries, not follow paths. It's a privilege to age. So many never get the chance. Talent is a gift, but character is a choice. You don't have to be loud to be heard. Just honest. There's a part of every woman that doesn't ask for permission, and that's the part you must trust. You have to embrace all the chapters of your story, even the messy ones. I don't want to be remembered for how I looked, but for what I stood for. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Be so grounded that no storm can shake you. Women have always been powerful. The world is just finally noticing. I am thankful for all those who said no to me. It's because of them I did it myself. You owe no one your perfection. You can't apologize for being strong. I don't want to be a star. I want to be an actor. There's no limit to what we, as women, can accomplish. If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. I never dreamed of success. I worked for it. There's no expiration date on dreams. You are allowed to take up space. I'm not fearless. I just act like it. A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman. Sometimes courage is simply deciding to show up. You deserve to be heard, not just seen. What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have. You are not too much. You were just born for more. If they don't give you a seat at the table, build your own table. You don't become great by seeking attention. You become great by being exceptional. The world needs women who are tired of hiding. Grace isn't about being quiet. It's about being firm with dignity. Empathy will save the world before anything else does. Don't fear the fire. Be the fire. Let the world adjust to you, not the other way around. Your presence is your power. Don't edit yourself for someone else's comfort. In a world that profits from your self-doubt, loving yourself is a rebellious act. Even when the script of life gets messy, show up like the lead character. You're allowed to change. Growth is not betrayal. Rejection is redirection. Trust it. You can be soft and strong, gentle and fierce, kind and unstoppable. I didn't get where I am by waiting to be chosen. My success didn't come overnight. It came from not quitting. Never shrink yourself to fit in places you've outgrown. Don't be afraid to evolve. Butterflies aren't born with wings. There is something revolutionary about being kind in a cruel world. No one else gets to define what success looks like for you. You don't need to hustle for your worth. You can love people and still choose yourself. Never doubt the strength of a woman who believes in herself. Let people underestimate you. Then surprise them. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is keep your heart open. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. Authenticity will always outshine perfection. The real glow-up is when you stop trying to be liked and start being respected. Don't waste energy proving yourself to people who already made up their minds. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our lives won't have a title until much later. Not every storm comes to destroy you. Some come to clear your path. Hold your boundaries like your life depends on it, because it does. The loudest critics are often the most afraid of your potential. Learn to rest, not quit. Sometimes grace is saying, no more. Confidence isn't walking into a room thinking you're better. It's walking in not needing to compare. Keep shining. Some people can't handle the light, but that's not your problem. Even if your voice trembles, let it speak. You weren't born to live at half volume. Being underestimated is your secret weapon. You don't have to carry everything to be strong. Sometimes, the most radical thing you can do is love yourself. You don't need to fix yourself. You're not broken. Own your story. Even the messy parts. You can't bloom in a place you're not watered. Growth often looks like chaos before it becomes clarity. You're not behind. You're on your own timeline. The woman you are becoming will cost you people. Let them go. Stop apologizing for existing too loudly. Let your success speak in silence. The best revenge is glowing up spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. You don't have to play small to make others comfortable. The right people will celebrate your shine, not shade it. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Healing is messy. Be proud you're trying. You are not for everyone, and that's your power. Don't explain your fire to those content with their smoke. Let your life be a silent protest against mediocrity. Every time you get back up, you're rewriting your legacy. A soft heart in a cruel world is not weakness, it's courage. Don't let anyone rob you of your own story. The moment you choose yourself is the moment you change your life. You don't need permission to be powerful. The world may not be ready for your truth. Say it anyway. You don't owe your greatness to anyone's approval. Softness is not a flaw, it's depth. The most beautiful parts of you are often the most misunderstood. Stand tall in rooms where you were once told to shrink. The mirror only reflects the outside. Your worth lives within. I never let fear drive my choices. Curiosity always wins. Your journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be valid. You are a masterpiece, still in progress, but already beautiful. You don't have to burn yourself to keep others warm. Success doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's quiet peace. Let your presence make statements your words never have to. You can be proud and still be humble. I don't pretend to be perfect. I choose to be real. Let your truth be louder than your fears. Your silence can be more powerful than someone else's noise. Don't be afraid to be the woman who walks away. Every scar tells a story of survival, not weakness. There's magic in the woman who keeps rising. Own your ambition like it's sacred, because it is. I have no desire to fit into places I've outgrown. Healing is learning to stay soft in a hard world. The most powerful voice is the one that refuses to stay quiet. It's okay to not have it all figured out. Growth is messy. You are allowed to walk away from anything that no longer serves you. Let your light be untamed. You are under no obligation to remain who you were yesterday. If the door won't open, build a new one. Wear your story like armor, not shame. Some truths don't need to be loud, they just need to be lived. I'd rather be respected for being real than loved for being fake. Make peace with your past, so it doesn't poison your present. Your dreams are not too big, they're just waiting for your courage. You weren't born to follow the script, you were born to write it. The world needs more women who refuse to be silenced. Let your success disturb the ones who doubted you. Your intuition is not imaginary, it's your deepest wisdom. The most dangerous woman is the one who knows her worth. You don't have to explain why you changed. Growth is the reason. Let them talk. You're too busy becoming who you were meant to be. There's nothing more beautiful than a woman who trusts her path. Protect your peace like it's gold. You're not too much, they were just never enough. Your presence is your protest. Don't dim your light, burn brighter. Sometimes your strength is in your softness. You don't have to be loud to be unforgettable. Love yourself like you never needed validation. You are not here to play small. Let your life speak before your words do. You are your own rescue. The ones who underestimated you will wish they hadn't. Let your confidence whisper, not scream. Not every battle needs your energy. Choose wisely.